Hello, everyone. I want my guidelines. I want this to go away. Welcome to another edition of Lore and Story. I am going to close a door to my cave real fast. Hold on. And I'm going to move that chair. And I am going to do the elevator thing. Just kidding. I'm just standing up because I have a lot of energy today. For those of you who don't know, it was my birthday. Is my birthday. And it's a pretty good way to celebrate that. So I'm excited. We've got a few people here. I don't know. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. I don't know if we should just get started right away or give everybody a second to join. Give some hearts for the birthday love. It's been a good day so far, anyway. Oh my gosh, this thing. I can't shut it down. I need to restart my computer because it is so buggy. All right. Okay, I'm not going to wait too long today because I've got to go celebrate with my family because they're going to make me. Feeling a little scruffy. Had a good weekend. Lots going on. Really excited about today. It's official. We've made the announcement with FanX. FanX has made the post. I've asked it to be shared in Discord. We've shared it on our pages as well as some of the stuff going around about tonight with this Lauren's story. And so, yeah, we are official and we are in the crunch because FanX is so close. We're only really 6 weeks away. And so there's so much to do, and we are rocking and rolling and going as fast as we possibly can. Maybe I should switch mice because this mouse looks like it's running out of juice. So I will charge that real fast. Nope, can't use that one. Hold, please. Okay. Well, we'll kind of just dive right into it. So with FanX, they've announced it, and we are, like I said, we're running full steam ahead. I may or may not have a little bit of a prototype sitting in front of me right now. I was thinking about showing that. We'll see how that goes for what that egg is looking like. It's something that we've never done before. We've talked about it. We've maybe shown some pictures. There's some other stuff that have gone around, and we're being pretty hush with it because even this prototype is not even close to being done. And for those that you are very aware with the kind of the progression that Dragon Federation has with its product development, some of the first iterations that we show are not even close to what the finished iterations are going to be. And so debating about talking about pricing. We're still kind of working some things out with FanX. We're getting reservations. A lot are coming in on a daily basis now. There's a lot of interest in this dragon, even in the whole thing. So we're definitely, we're just rocking and rolling. For those of you that don't know, I will share this. The pre-release of the app is live on the app stores. So both Google and Android, if you have a Dragon and you have a Dragon code, you can go in there and see all the new updates. It's a little bit slicker. We've got even some stuff if you want to go through a demo. There's kind of the full functionality that's going in there, except for everything with the perpetual side. So you're not going to hurt your dragon. You're not going to damage it if you don't like manage it. But what I would like the army to do is to download it. Let's start getting some usage on it, because I want to see some of the analytics that we have on it, as well as starting to get just some general downloads. We're not going to go like full-fledged and advertise it. I was debating about putting a couple of links in the chat here for where it is on the App Store, as well as where it is on the the Android store, the Google Play Store, and maybe we could do that. But it's all Dragon Federation. I know this is really lame, but unfortunately, because we have multiple things, we're not just a one-trick pony. Dragon Federation monitor. You should be able to just type in Dragon Federation to see it. For those of you on Apple devices, you need to do it on your phone, because the algorithm, or at least the code base for Apple, if you're searching on your computer, because it's not built for the computer, you won't see it. So it has to be searched via mobile. I was able to search it for Android on my computer, and it was still able to come up. So go in there and let's start to do what we always do, right? Like what I'm going to ask you, and review the app or talk about how excited you are for the next phase of it. The beautiful UX design and how much you already love your dragons. That would be super helpful, just because, reviews and all those types of things also change algorithms. But we'll be putting some energy and effort behind the marketing behind it. But right now we're just kind of going slow, because there are some things that we've already noticed. I don't want to say got missed, but they need to be updated, because we've just been moving pretty fast on this. Also, there's been a lot of conversation even about updates, because I haven't been sharing them. And part of that is because I don't want to spoil them. If you want, I can talk about Deadpool and Wolverine and spoil that for you. And it's kind of the same way. And I know that a lot of you are just kind of like, oh, but we want to know how you guys are doing on the backside of this. Well, not having any hiccups with some of the frames per second on Oculus, some of the other just house cleaning, if you will, when it goes under review for the submission process. We're hoping to have that available for download for anybody without the email this week. And I know that I've been very very against talking about days or dates, just because things happen. So I know that this could be held against me. I've said things on here before that have been held against me. But we are looking at that. For those of you that have already given the emails on a tester side of things, I have already included you in the latest build, which is considered our beta. And I encourage you to go see it tonight and reach out, because I would love to hear your feedback for those of you that have experienced it before. If there's only a handful of you, so it's not going to be too many, but maybe most of you are here on that call. And I'm looking at you, Iron Man, because I know that you've done this a couple of times. So yeah, I'd love to see what kind of the feedback there, as long as it works. I haven't done it myself. I've done it several times, but we brought in a new developer, a senior level developer, to do a lot of cleanup for what we're doing, just to kind of prime the pumps. And we're really excited about what we're seeing coming through here. So it's pretty awesome. Doesn't come up for you anyway. Dragon Mama, I don't know if that's, so question if that's, I did see your ticket, in the Discord thing, and I was trying to get everybody updated on that. And I know that most people, if you haven't been approved for the Oculus, it's because we do not have your right login for Meta. Meta will flag it immediately if that email that you give us is not connected to your Meta account. They will say that this is not a valid registration. So just so that you know, it's not that we're not doing it. It's just that they won't even let us send an invite to an email that's not associated with a Meta account or an Oculus account. So just giving you that heads up. But yeah, so apps are live. I can't think of a better birthday present. Oh wait, I can. And that's the fact that our fetus teaser that we did with FanX already has nearly 12,000 views on it, and that's organic traffic. So I'm super excited about that. Yeah, it's going pretty cool. So I can't wait for everything that's coming up. We're going to be moving extraordinarily fast. Please forgive us. I'm just going to say this because chances of me being able to do a live all the way up until this might be the last one that I can do until FanX. I might do one right before. But the only reason why I'm saying that is because there's so much to do. And because this came up so fast that the attention and everything else, we're just going to have to be running. But you're going to see us very, very active across the social world, in Discord and everything else, because there's a lot of information coming down. There's a lot of questions that you guys are asking. What does it all mean if you can't be there? Yes, we are opening up the Elder for purchase for people that will be remote. But I will say this. There is going to be a limited quantity on this dragon. I don't know what that is. Right now we have an idea, but we're also making sure that we have the right traction. So kind of the reservations is our leading indicator of what the popularity of this particular breed is going to be. And based on that, we're kind of going to be measuring that. So if you're on the fence, whether you're waiting for pricing or some of the other things, I can tell you this, that the retail price is not going to be any more expensive than any of the Mountain Skull dragons, just so that you know. We're going to be actually much less with the show special. And I'm not going to announce that just yet, but like our Mountain Skull's 220. We're looking at between, I don't know, it's kind of like a $100, maybe $125 swing for this one, just because of the way that this one's being designed, the care that's going into it. The problem is with this particular prototype or this particular design, just so you guys know, we can't even mass colorize or paint or detail with like directional spraying, undercuts, and all that kind of stuff, because we were able to put a very linear production or a scaled production together on the Mountain Skull. This one is legitimately, unless we get some like advanced stenciling with some thermal forming, we're going to be looking at like hand painted, airbrushed for every single one of these. And so they're going to be very different. We've got definitely some very interesting things that are going into it, but yeah, it's definitely, so far I've shown the prototype to at least my family, and it seems to be their favorite so far. So I will say that about that. I do kind of want to showcase it, but again, like you guys know me, like I hesitate to put something out there before it's done, but it's only going to get better, right? I can definitely say that. And some of the things that we've learned through our processes, and even through some of the well, I can kind of do this in phases, I guess, because I'll show you what we're doing kind of with this the core of this one. And yeah, I'm kind of showing it. So we've gone away from 3D printing. I'm just going to share that because of maybe some of the reactions that we had with there are some things that we're not necessarily sure of, that could have weakened some of the inner egg, that could have done. There are a number of things. So we're actually rotomolding with a resin core, and I don't want to give like all the things away, but like this was kind of one of the early tests, and I'll just kind of show this to you guys because you can see how this one's got multiple different surfaces and everything else. And this, by the way, this lighter stuff, just in case you guys were wondering, yeah, it glows. Should we turn off the lights and see if it does? I don't know. It's too dark outside. Let's give it a shot. Why not? It's like almost Halloween, right? Yeah, I've got too much light coming out. Yeah, you can't really see it, but the way that this one's done is kind of a layering process on it that's going to have. And again, this is why this is a very interesting sort of process, because we're finding the right mixture between the color of the actual resin mixed with some of the UV charged elements that we are putting into this egg. So it has some very interesting nightlight capabilities. Let me. Hold on a second. Yeah, so I'm back. But yeah, the texture on this, it seems to be pretty popular. I'm about to show you kind of where we are on the other prototype, but this one seems to be fairly popular, and it's already got some weight to it, right? Which is really cool. It almost weighs, the prototype that I have almost weighs as much as the Mountain Skull, and it is smaller. Here's the interesting thing, though: the core, although it's smaller, is still. Let me kind of give you. I don't want to reveal it too fast, but you can see it to the right, the amount of resin that actually encapsulates. Wow. It makes it bigger. So this is when there's only a handful of you on here, we can show it. There's some interesting pieces on this, and you can't really see it, but the depth, you can see like the texture that's on this, right? And the kind of peaks and valleys in this thing, with some other elements. Again, I'm trying not to show too much of it, because what I don't want to do is have, a predisposed idea of what this thing is supposed to look like, or what it's supposed to do, or what it's supposed to be. But there's a lot of detail going into this egg, and there is a little bit of lightning, if you would call it that. We're refining that process, looking at some different things, because if you've read any of the issues on it, or the backstory, which has been worked on by, again, some of the lovely people in our moderators. It's I just totally lost my train of thought because I was trying to do two things. So yeah, it's an elemental, right? There's elemental pieces to this dragon. And so if that hasn't been released, well then, sorry, I spoiled it. Again, it's my birthday, right? I'm excited. That's all there really is to say. So one of the things, we can talk about this, and we can, I can hold this up again. I can spin it around if you really want to see it. You can put it up against a mountain skull egg and you can see it side by side. I really like it. The size of it is actually really, really interesting because it is a little bit smaller in size. For those that don't know, the Elder Dragon is technically smaller than the mountain skull, but there are some things that we'll talk about here. I wanted to talk about something because I thought that it was an interesting topic, and it really comes down to what we're building, your guys' expectation about what that means as far as how much of this costs, what kind of experience that we're doing, what your expectations are, what my expectations are, what we're trying to do, and how we're trying to do it. And I want to open the floor on this one because the reality is we had a really good call with some of the people that we're working with on our back-end servers. And for those of you that know why we haven't launched the product yet fully is because this is the brains behind the entire operation. And if we don't get this part right, what's going to happen is the costs are going to go up and up and up and up, and we're quickly not going to be able to control it. And all of a sudden, the company will be bankrupt, even though we're doing financially well right now. We are trying to make sure that we scale this thing appropriately. There is a very big reason why AAA games and movies and these entertainment properties spend millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars creating these types of properties, because they anticipate millions, tens of millions of users right out of the gate with DLC, with in-app purchases, with loot boxes, with other types of purchase rewards and subscriptions and everything else, because the server costs for any sort of online game is astronomical. And if we don't do that right, that part of it, because we are also using the data to train your dragons, with some of the advanced machine learning that we're doing as well, our data collection and our storage is significant. The perpetual world is also an active server, right? So that these things can be maintained. And as your dragon grows, it continually updates that based on that sort of world clock or that perpetual sort of memory. And then in addition to that, every time a server is spun up, depending on how many people are involved in a multiplayer scenario, it gets parsed. But every time a new server comes up with the bandwidth on top of that, with the data collection, with everything else, just to kind of give you guys an idea, and I did say this in Discord for those of you that saw it and those of you who don't, it can be upwards of $50 per player per month. And if you just do the cost of what this looks like, when we start talking about, you're charging us $300, $500 a month or not a month, but for an egg, right? Let's just say the top price of the egg is $500. And you're like, I should never have to pay anything again. Just to give you guys any sort of just sort of metrics here. So Fortnite, arguably the largest popular, battle royale, whatever you want to call it, online multiplayer. they average per player on a monthly basis, and this was back in 2020, about $100 per player on purchasing. And so if you think about the cost of, when I said upwards of $50 per player a month, it's kind of no joke. And what we're trying to do is not make it that. Let me be clear. But one of the things that, and I'll go through some of the comments here in a second, but the reason why I'm saying this is because we have to be really careful, and we have to prioritize those products and features in the right way that build value in what we're doing, instead of being like, hey, look, we've got AI training going on, we've got multiplayer going on, and we've got the perpetual world going on all simultaneously, and we're going to do it all at once. And we're just going to roll the dice. And that's not in our roadmap, to be perfectly honest with you. We'll have the perpetual world, like our roadmap is for this year. And like I said, we plan on launching everything live this year. But what's going to come next, when we start looking at multiplayer and we start looking at the AI training, I mean, this is why your dragons take a while to grow, because the way that we have to do it versus using an off-the-shelf system so that it can be custom to you is we have to collect that data, and we have to train that data, and we have to validate that training and that data based on the models that we're going to be doing. So it's a little bit slower. It's a little bit complicated. But it's just going to be able to be built sustainable. And that's really where I kind of wanted to come at this one tonight, because I think that there's this sort of idea that we are, whether we're charging more upfront and trying to keep the cost down to a certain point, or we're tranching our product delivery and our roadmap so that it's just not all available out the gate. There's a lot of things that we really have to understand with our consumer base in order for us to be optimized. And that's why, I want to share that with you guys, because again, our care and effort in this is to make sure that it's sustainable, and that after 2 or 3 years, we get into a place that we're spending way more as a company to support it, but we do not have the revenue coming in to even come close to what we need to do. So yeah, there you go. Those are a couple of things. I'm going to go through here and just read some of the comments. Combine the texture of the first egg and the details of the second one. I mean, well, that's really what it is. The difference is on that, when you say that, Michael, it's all the same egg. So it's got the texture. The difference is one of the things that I'm very interested in, but we have to be careful about how fast we move, because the texture is a very interesting thing. And yeah, it would be pretty cool to preserve it. So I have to have that conversation. But let's see. What do we got? New version of the app has been updated. It's not the same. Let's see. You guys are talking back and forth. Dragon Mama, it just sounds like that there are some issues going on. Just so that even if you're downloading it from the store, there shouldn't be, if you are not able to get in for whatever reason, or it's not opening on your phone, then there are some compatibility issues, and I am not sure what those are. Because we have dated this back. I'll have to figure out what the release or the support level of the release is, but I know that it includes any of the original AR devices. So, we'll have to take a look at that for you. Let's see. Yours is a 14 plus. I just had a thought that I have to have them double check because your region might not be approved yet. We'll have to double check with some of our European friends because I know that North America and Canada have been approved, but that might be, yeah, I'm seeing that could also be region based as well. Michael's saying that. Okay. Sorry, I don't want to get too lost here. Let's see. Is there a place plan in Discord for the discussion feedback of the app? I don't think that there's any particular channel. I would just check with the moderators at this point because I do want to collect on that, especially if there's just like, I'm sure that we've caught them, whether it's grammar stuff or didn't make sense. There's some other people that have already pinged me that have been like, hey, can we go through this with your devs? I'm a little bit confused. And so if there's stuff like that, then maybe DICE, we could look at putting in, I don't want to say just a contributor channel that would allow, kind of updated feedback, or it looks like there might be something else in there. Because if someone can't afford it, lots of dragons die from lost accounts. We, again, like I said, like Sarah, we'll get into that a little bit more. I don't anticipate this thing being, like what we were talking about. When I talk about some of the costs, I want you guys to understand more that we're not just running at it full throttle, because we're being a lot more judicious in the way that we are putting our roadmap together, if that makes sense, so that it's not going to be overwhelming and that we don't put ourselves in a situation that we have to charge you this unbelievable amount of money to be able to continue this experience. So I'm just not tracking right now off the store. Email hasn't changed. Teleporting fetuses. I'm not sure what teleporting fetus is. It means that you might be using the demo mode. I'm not sure. Let's see. When can we expect more info on the Elder? NX is so close, it may entice more people to drop the money on that with that dragon if they know what they're buying, like they do with the Mountain Skull. So we're building that up, right? We're kind of looking at the information that kind of leads up to this entire thing. The Elder Dragon, there is a write-up that's going to be released here soon about that dragon, and we will also be posting it on the website. So it is one of the top priorities, just to make sure that everybody's on that same page with the Elder Dragon. Subscriptions versus upfront. Thanks for adding it in there now. Okay. I think I'm all caught up. So I'll just ask you guys, because we might be able to go short-lived tonight just because it is my birthday, and I do know that my family wants to take me out. And so questions. I was covering some things that I've heard and I've just kind of seen, and some things that I'm excited about. Is there anything that you can ask me directly? Please feel free. I want to open this up so you can just go ahead, throw something at me and let me know what I can answer. Type it in the comments. I wish that I could just open up like chat lines for everyone. Just be like, hey, throw some stuff at me. Might have to do it in a Zoom one of these days because everybody loves that. Covered all the questions. Downloaded the app. I'm not sure if I actually got into a demo mode, but it's not tracking as soon as it registers. Bouncing all over the room. What is the launch date? You're cute. We have some dates in mind that we're targeting. I'm just going to tell you, Michael, just go ahead and start looking at the new beta, because I'm going to come after you specifically and ask for some feedback. If you plan on attending FanX and you're interested in buying an egg, I would definitely get a reservation. It doesn't mean that you have to, and I'm being reluctant about this. I really want people to use the reservation. We're using it as a leading indicator of the demand. So if people are taking a reservation, they're on the fence about it, it's totally fine. We are anticipating some people that have reservations that don't necessarily bring one home, but at the same time, that's kind of what we're targeting for what this looks like, because even in the rarities. Oh, one of the things that I will add, these eggs will be numbered. So they will have, and based on your reservation, it's kind of like that first come, first serve. So if you have an early reservation and there's more people, I'm not going to say it's going to be a now serving, but when you cash in that reservation, definitely depending on how many reservations are available versus the purchase, there will be numbers on these, meaning like one of, or that type of thing, right? So these will have legitimate tracking, at least from the production side of things, and which one that you got. So just to let you know that. But so yeah, Severus, if you are planning on attending FanX and you're on the fence about it, but you are heavily considering it, I would get a reservation. Just saying. Let's see. Yeah, and I will talk about that. So the NFT side of the question here, and I know that's another part of it, secondary markets, selling, trading, all of that type of stuff. That is another one of these components on our product roadmap that has not been fully integrated. And so it's not going to be available at launch. I just want to be really clear about that. I mean, you can still sell the Dragon without that. It's just like transferring the code, or there'll be some more work that goes into that. But I just want to share that just so that you guys are clear on that. And we see we get stuck in a 3-mile long line to get in the door. What is the chance we'll lose the egg we reserved? So the chances of you losing an egg is going to be really rare, right? The chances of you not getting the number one, if there is a really long line, and there's also a really long line at our booth, the chances of you getting the number one, if that's what you're going for, is probably that's pretty a foregone conclusion. But as we get closer to it, we will let you guys know what this is shaping up with, kind of like what the quantities are going to be, and we will definitely let you know. Be there early, because these quantities, based on the reservations, we expect them to sell out day 1, day 2, day 3, those types of things. So we'll keep that attention to you. Let's see. And I hope that answers your question. But if you reserve, chances of you, again, like if you've reserved an egg, chances of you not being able to get one is going to be pretty. That's a way out thing. So, how many rarity for this breed? So one of the things I will tell you this, Severus, one of the things that we are looking at is a possible rarity for each convention, because this is a co-partnered egg. We're looking at what that means. So if FanX Salt Lake City does really well, and we go into the next convention, we are looking at not necessarily buying the same ones in both, but we will be playing with that. We will have, like the Mountain Skull, we will have published clutch sizes. So even if this one does sell out or another rarity, and I don't want to say rarity, I would just say clutches, because it may be a different element, or something like that, or a coloration like that you guys have seen before. But yeah, well, I hope that answers your question. We can't come to FedEx if the eggs run out and they won't be shipped. Is the reservation be refundable? If the eggs run out and they won't be shipped, so just so that you know, that's not really in the game plan either. I'll talk more about that later, because shipping the product isn't necessarily the issue. The issue that we're having is whether or not the value is created for the people that are there in the event. Does that make sense? So the first come, first serve, and then also based on the clutch size is going to determine whether or not there's not going to be any eggs in the reservation. But just like anything else, just to clear the air, a reservation isn't a purchase. So you can either, if for whatever reason this one sells out and you can't get it, and you can't get it at another event or another rarity, and you still want to do that, yeah, there are options to either roll that into another thing or even have that refunded. So, but the one thing that I want to be really clear about here is that please use the reservation. We are using it. Please use it if you're not sure, but you want to be on the fence about it and those types of things. It's okay. But more importantly, the one thing that I want you guys to be able to look at here is say, okay, we are looking at this to kind of see how this partnership is going to be fruitful or not fruitful. So if we have kind of the wrong numbers for that, then we're going to be anticipating the wrong thing. And that goes either way. If we have too many reservations or not enough reservations, I'm not really anticipating that not enough, though. Honestly, it's coming in pretty regularly at this point. But I will keep you updated on that. So there was some mixed information on this, and I guess they said more on the VIP channel. You guys are going to ship out reservation eggs if there are any left over after the expo, right? Yeah. So if in the chance that we don't sell out the actual supply at the reservation at the expo, there will be another event that will allow. So anybody that purchases an egg, and this is where it gets really tricky for us, and so I have to figure this out with our mods and some of the other people, that I don't know if we're going to open up the store when FanX opens for online orders. It will probably happen either right at the end of the event, maybe that Sunday, or possibly that next week, if that makes sense. Just because then we will understand our inventories and we'll also understand our capacities. So if you're not planning on attending FanX, then it doesn't really matter. It shouldn't matter whether you get your eggs shipped by that weekend or if it takes a couple more weeks, because we're either in that collecting and gathering phase of the new eggs and then shipping them out. But yeah, I just want to show that. Let's see. Ooh, what am I doing for my birthday? Dinner. Probably Thai food. Little Tom Kha. Sounds kind of good right now. It was raining like crazy here today, and it was like super monsoon, so it's nice for a little bit of warm food. Come to Kauai Con in Hawaii in the next 2 years. Are you kidding me? Kauai is like my favorite island. Oh, well, I don't know if that's what we're talking about, but yeah, it is. It's Hawaii. So Kauai is my favorite island. You don't have to talk to me twice about going to Kauai for any reason, because that's just amazing. I didn't know they had a con though. I'll have to look into that. Will there be different rarities for the elder? So rarities for the elder. So just so you know, the elder itself is a rarity, right? I want to be pretty clear about that. This dragon is not going to be, it's not going to be cloned like the mountain skull. So each one of these clutches, let's just call each convention as of right now a clutch, and that will be its own rarity. Just so that you know, just to kind of clear that up. Let's see. I mean, I do have like 5 autographs to get. Even an hour early, I have a lot of waiting to do myself. Yeah. Will our regimen still be saved for future dragon if we can't afford it when it comes out? Yeah, of course. We do that all the time. So, and just so you know, Wintern, we're south of 500. Just so you know. I'll just come out here with the pricing. The retail pricing on this one was at 500, but for the con, it will be less, a lot less. Let's see. Do you know where your booth will be yet? I have honestly, they haven't given us the number yet. I do know that we're going to be one of the biggest, and so because we're partnering with them, and there's another booth that we're looking at doing some stuff with. I have to get on the phone with them. We might be right across from them, so hopefully we're going to be. I will keep you guys posted on that. You won't miss us. The stuff that we're going to be doing in the reservation area and the entrance and all over the place. Really, it'll be pretty cool. It'll be pretty cool. Let's see. Southish to right if possible. Okay, it's in Oahu. Actually, it's just called that. Well, that's just dumb. Oahu, the crowded place. Of course, it's in Oahu. Right now in the app, when we register the dragon, ask for a name at the same time. So your name can be changed. If you look at, I believe so on the app, Dice, you might have to double check on this for me, but you should have control to be able to edit that and update that. So you can do it. You can put something like temp, right, for now, just to do that. I use 2 names. I use Spyro and Odin, so nobody take that because those are mine. But I'm sure that people will. So there you go. Let's see. Then we already changed the letter date after the hatch. I have a subscription. Now that it's finished, can I use it for the elder? Possibly, Dragon Mama. Yeah, I don't see why that should be an issue, but we'll talk about that. All right, you guys. Well, we're 10 minutes to the hour, and is there any more questions? I'll answer 3 more questions if you have them. But again, if you have the Oculus and you've already experienced the experience, please go in, and you've been invited to the new beta. Go take a look at it. I'm really excited about it. There's a couple of new things on there for sure. Happy, have a great birthday. Thank you guys. Thank you for the love. And thank you again. Like I can't tell you enough because the support for this project is just overwhelming. You know, obviously I say this every time, but it is so true. We can't do this without you. You are the lifeblood for this. What we're doing is some hard stuff, and you guys are the proof positive that there's a demand for this, and that makes all the difference to have that sort of traction. So I can't thank you enough for supporting this project and your continued support. So thank you. That's a really good question. If you guys already have the tester app and you just update it, I have to do that myself. So I'll test that as well and see how that goes. I might have to just delete it and re-download it, to be honest with you. But if it doesn't work for you, you can always go back and do that. And thank you guys. On that note, since you're all saying thank you and wishing me a happy birthday, I will take my leave, and you guys have a great night. Have a great Monday. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.